Hello, my friends. It's Andy with the COVID-19 live TV show. I have a great show today. You have no idea how good this is. My guest, Karen Waldrup, we met in Nashville. She was playing at the hotel that I was staying at, and I walked in this fantastic hotel. I already forgot the name of it. Karen's gonna have to remind me the name of the hotel. I walked in, and the great thing about Nashville is about everywhere you walk into, somebody's playing music, and they often sound fantastic. But Karen just was that much a step above the other artists that I heard. And I walked in, and I didn't go up to my room. I had to finish listening to her set, and then got a chance to talk to her. Later on, we did an interview here in California. And everything that we talked about seemed to be so comfortable and great. She's very open and honest about stuff. And so I thought, why not? Let's have her on the show during this time to kind of brighten everybody's day. So right after this video, I'm going to introduce you to Karen Waldrup. Hey, Karen. You're eating.
Get to know each other. Wash your hands. How's it going, everybody? It's Karen Waldrup having some pizza.
I saw you take a big bite of pizza while that video was running. I wonder if she knows how long that video runs, because it's going to be ending soon.
That's it. Everybody, dinner with Karen Waldrup.
Hey, do you still do a cooking show? I thought you were doing a cooking show for a while.
I don't really do a cooking show. I just every now and then I'll just go live and share something like a jambalaya or a healthy meal that we do on the road. I don't know. I just try to create whatever content seems applicable at the time. So it just depends on what's going on. If we're going on the road, I might show people what we're doing on meal prep. If I'm at home and I just want to do a fun cooking video, I can. But I try not to commit to anything that's regular except for music. Music, you know, it's so easy. I see artists online and there they are doing their yoga classes or their whatever classes or whatever they're doing. And it's like, that's all great, but like, you're a musician and that's what you do. And that's why people follow you. So for me, I try to just kind of constantly let the music be the anchor.
Oh, yeah. And it's hard to commit to a regular show. People always ask me, what time's your show on? I go, you know what? I'm not that guy. I kind of pop in when I'm not doing, schoolwork with the kids, because I got 5 kids. 4 of them in elementary school and junior high. And it's unbelievable what they're asking us to do with the kids. And I have 4 businesses that I run. So, but to try to stay on a schedule, that is so tough. I have friends that run a regular podcast or TV show or on live streaming, and it's hard. They tell me all the time how hard it is to stay on that schedule and come up with ideas and all the stuff that goes along with it. So how has your life changed in the last couple of weeks since all this? What's been going on with you?
It's funny that you asked it in that same way, because I was actually talking to my father last night and we looked at the schedule, and I went to dinner with my producer of Justified on March the 9th. And I remember at that dinner, everything was normal. We maybe said, oh, this coronavirus is crazy over in Asia or whatever, but there wasn't this. I mean, we were still at dinner. We were still at a restaurant. We were still having beers. And that was March 9th. And I was having dinner with Garth Fundus. I'm so glad I did that, because he's the producer of my record. And I don't know when I'll get to see him again, because we're under quarantine. So anyway, that was a really great dinner. But then on March 10th, I went downtown and had a meeting with an attorney, and we were working on whatever, and everything seemed pretty normal. And on March 11th, March 12th, it was like, bam, just completely shifted. 13 shows gone, our entire tour, the bus, the hotels, the tickets, refunding everybody. It took us about 2 days to just get rid of the tour. Let's just get rid of it. Let's just call it off. And that was life-changing, and I made a commitment to myself that day that no matter what, that I will be honest with people online as I'm doing this live streaming, as I'm playing music for people, that I will be completely honest and transparent on how that affected me, how that affected my band, and how that affected my business. And it affected us in a completely transformation. Like, all of a sudden, we were trying to figure out, how do we still play music? And so we decided to launch what we called our Cabin Fever series, and we played those 4 shows that we were supposed to be on that weekend live on the web.
Wow.
And so we're trying to continue the Cabin Fever series, but it's a little bit different. It's shifting because now I'm on with people like you. We're talking about different things. And so it's not quite the same thing. But for those shows, for those people, we did the shows online still. So that felt really good. We sat right here. We played. We talked about what city we were supposed to be in that night. We did the best that we could. But really, when it boils down to it, you know, we went from having a huge 2020 when it comes to touring to God saying, no, you're going to stay where you are and you're going to play music online. And I'm okay with that.
Wow. Well, first of all, I want to tell people that are watching, because I see people popping on, make sure when you pop on, tell me where you're watching from. And if you have listened to Karen before, if you know her music, and if not, I'm glad that I'm introducing her to you, because she is fantastic. I'm telling you, I want to get into a little bit of her history later on too. But is there, when you're talking about these tours being canceled, is there insurance for that? Do the, I don't know, the tour people, I don't know what you call them, the promoters, do they have insurance that covers that kind of thing?
Unfortunately, in the music business, I have an incredible insurance policy when it comes to my band being on the road, somebody getting hurt, something going wrong. I have insurance on all of that. But no, we really don't have tour insurance. That's not really normal. I've been making music full time for 10 years, never, or not quite 10, I think it's 8 years full time. And I've never had anything like this happen. So typically it's just, you just go by the contract based on the show. You know, is there a hurricane on that show? Okay, well, what does the contract say? You both agree to it and you move on. This one is totally different because it's our entire season of tour. It's our entire run of dates. So what I did was I just tried to do the right thing. I just tried to do on each date. I looked at each date and I decided what was the fair and right thing to do. And a lot of those dates required sending deposits back. And that hurts so bad.
Sure.
It hurts so bad to send those deposits back. But I knew it was the right thing because I just had to look at the contract, see black and white, what were the terms. And if the terms had a God clause in, I had to send the deposit back. So not only did we lose the gigs, we lost all the deposits. We lost all the VIPs. We lost all the merch. We lost all the tickets. We lost everything. All of it.
Wow.
It's just like,
well, I think about Hollywood shutting down too, and the stars, you know, the people that, you know, the big stars who have, you know, hopefully money in the bank and they haven't just, you know, spent it all.
right.
Rock stars and country stars and those people that happen to be that, you know, at a level where that income loss may or may not affect them as badly as the people that pull the wires and plug in the things and set up the speakers and set up all the chairs. And you're thinking about, wow, I mean, there's a large number of people that it takes to put together a show. They've got to be hurting, and thank God they may be getting some cash in the mailbox or in their bank, but it's devastating. This has been really, and I don't want to bring it down. I want to bring it back up in just a second. But you just think about all the number of people, not just the person that's standing under the spotlight, but the people all around you that now have nothing to do.
Boys in the band, the driver, the promoters, all the bartenders that were going to make money. I mean, just everybody, it trickles and trickles and trickles. But it does start with me on as far as our shows, you know, it does start with me. And I remember getting a phone call from my publicist. And this is a funny story. And she called and she said, hey, some of my other artists are canceling their tours. What are your plans? And I'm like, we're not canceling, you know, I was so optimistic. I was so hopeful. I wanted so bad to go. I was like, you know, I had my outfits picked out and we had the tour schedule and we had rehearsed and everything. So I kind of thought at first that it was a little, you know, I was like, oh, well, you know, we're still going to go. And the truth is that the venues are stronger than me. You know, I was so foolish. I was, oh my gosh, we have to go. We have to be there for the people. We have to do this and that and the other. And the day that I found out that we had lost all 13 shows, I actually had one of our fans sent me a gift in the mail, and it's an old 1589 Bible. It's 431 years old. And when I received that Bible in the mail, which is so incredible, that should be in a museum, and it's somehow I have it, which is such a sweet gift. But whenever I got that Bible, I just, you know, I kind of hit my knees, you know, I just kind of praised God and just said, okay, what am I supposed to do? And I heard him very loud and clear telling me that I still, you know, could shine a light, and I didn't know what that meant. You know, I heard him say that you can still go and you can still, you know, be a light for the people. And I didn't know that only had to happen online. So I just keep that in my heart, and I'm just trying to just be focused and realizing that there's so many people out there that can't do anything. They can't do anything, but I can play music online, which is crazy, but also bittersweet because it's available. So I'm just trying to be as optimistic as I can. And I'm trying to sit in my living room, just like I am right now, with some candles lit behind me, and just play music.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I was listening to you, and I was just saw this comment come in from Twitch. I'll have to share it with you later on.
Oh, okay. Oh, God.
After we have a couple more. Yeah, it just kind of broke up the what you were talking about. That Bible story is amazing, though.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really proud of it. I'm really excited about that Bible.
Do you have it near you?
Yes, I do actually.
Yeah, okay. When I play the video, when I play your new video,
okay,
then
okay. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. So you have a new video came out, and that's really cool. I mean, because that obviously, actually, let me ask you, when back in my day, which really wasn't that, it doesn't feel it was that long ago, but I was around when MTV started, right? And then CTM, right? Country music, no, CMT, Country Music Channel, or whatever it was called. I don't know what it's called. Started, and they actually played videos. Right. Yeah. They only played videos, and that's all that was on there. And then later on came these stupid shows that they had there, and I stopped watching it. But do videos of your songs still have an impact on record sales or music plays, or sales in wherever they're buying your music from?
First of all, what a great question. That is a great question. I think the musical digital space is different than it has ever been, especially now. Yeah. But before the whole situation, before March 2020, I would say that I kind of shifted my thinking a little bit when it comes to my career. I'm blessed to be able to feel this way and think this way, but I feel that these days, when it comes to music, I want to say this in a way that makes people feel like I'm not saying that I've lost hope in making money off of music. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I think that the perspective and the angle has shifted. And what I feel is the way to do it and to continue to grow my career is to kind of let go of the old way and let it go. And if there are any artists watching right now, just let it go. Just let it go. It will never be 1992 ever again. 1992 was great, but it's gone. And so I think by just being realistic with yourself and knowing that when you sit down and you craft a song, there is absolutely no way to know what that song's going to do, where it's going to end up, where that video is going to go, if it's going to go viral, is there going to be a video? Are you going to track it? There's just really no way to know. So what we do, or what I do, I can't speak for Nashville. I can speak for me. I can speak for a lot of my friends, but not the whole genre by any means. But I can speak for myself and several of my friends. And what we kind of decided to do is just stop trying so hard and just create and just trust, because there are so many vast and immense internet opportunities for us that we just don't really know. So we could, for example, when we made Me Again, we had no idea in the world that we would be quarantined when that video hit. So how do we know that video won't actually get more views because people are home and they have time, and it's an inspirational, happy song that makes people feel good? So you just kind of have to trust. You don't know what TikTok platform is going to monetize next. You have no idea if YouTube's going to monetize. Facebook's monetized. They took the monetization. Now they're sending it back. We just don't know. And so I think the best thing to do is sit in our bedrooms like we always have and write songs that make us happy, that make us feel good, that affect our hearts, and play it for people. And if people love it, go in the studio, track it, release it, make a video. Maybe you don't make a video, depending on how people like it. People really loved Me Again. It got like 1 million hits in like the first month. So I knew that it was worth making a video. So now we have a video. What will I ever make the money back on this money we spent on that video? I have no idea. I just know that with where we are in 2020, if you can just trust the fans have more accessibility now than ever to Venmo us, to PayPal us, to join our Patreon, to join our Facebook supporter. So there's all these new ways that they can support. And I think the biggest secret to this moment is who is engaged, who cares, who is the person who cares. And whoever that person is, if you can find that person who's willing to pay, who's willing to, you know, and be a part of your journey, and just treat them really freaking good.
Right. Wow. So many things you said there just ring so true to me in the live streaming space too. And I really appreciate you just sharing all that, because that is so important for people to know that the music business has to be tough for people to
it's tough
really
all the
begin.
time, but right now it's really damn tough.
Because when I do an interview or even a solo show that I do on any one of the 3 different shows that I run, you just never know. Like I'm always perplexed at the end, even like a day or 2 after, and I look and see the views, that I cannot figure out why one will have thousands of views and hundreds of views, and then the next one, which I thought was the best one, only has 42 views. And I was just like, is it the title? Right? Is it the description? Is it the graphic that showed up before the video started? Is it whatever when they were scrolling, you know, that they saw on the screen at the moment they scrolled? You know, it is such a mystery sometimes, and
it is definitely. I think it's the right word.
Yeah, it's a mystery. But so let's go into this video, because I want to play it as people are joining. Hey, thanks, David. I got David joining us. He says it's a great shirt.
David.
Honky tonk. He's a honky fan just like me. Honky.
I love
honky
that shirt. That is amazing.
Hey, somebody watching from London.
Hey, London.
Nice to see you. The guy that's on Twitch is really interesting. You know the platform Twitch?
I actually have not been on Twitch, so
yeah, it's mostly for gamers. Mostly for gamers or Bitcoin. They have singers on there all the time who are teaching sing or doing sing and that kind of stuff. Twitch is an interesting platform. But
cool. I appreciate you sharing it.
Yeah, I may have to share some of these comments that are coming through. It's a little bit of a younger demographic, and so some of the comments are actually pretty funny, and the other ones are kind of odd. All right, so I want to talk about this video. What's the history behind this video? You wrote the song some time ago, and then you created the video later. So just tell us a little bit about the song and what it means to you.
So I went through a really hard time in my life and in my career. And there's a whole People Magazine article that you can go check out. It's just type in Karen Waldrup People Magazine and it'll tell you the whole story. But anyway, there's this whole chapter of my life that was just really hard. I felt like I needed to go through it. It questioned my security. It questioned my integrity. It questioned my persistence. It questioned everything. But I got through it. And when I got through it, I heard the song, and it was to all the people that were there for me. And for me, that was a lot of my fans. Shout out to Andreas in Germany. Shout out to Dave Kelly. Shout out to Cody Henson. Shout out to Chris Schaffner, Cami McArdle. I mean, just all these people that were there for me during this turbulent time. So when I got through the time, I heard, you made me believe in me again. Like, here I am standing here, the same person, because of you, because you're the one who got me here. And so I brought it to some co-writers, and I said, I've got this idea, and it's, you made me believe in me again. And I had some lyrics, and I went over a couple of those lyrics, and we were sitting at a lake house in Hermitage, and I think Hendersonville, and we were on the water, and it was a really cold day, and we had a little fire pit going, and we started finger picking it. It was probably about sunset. It was like this song has always been so easy. From the minute we started strumming that guitar, it was easy peasy. It was me, Danny Wells, and Dave Brainerd produced it. So it was me, Danny Wells, and Philip White. And we were all sitting together and we were writing it. And then we brought it to Dave Brainerd, who produced it. And then Dave Brainerd had the idea to put William Michael Morgan on the track. So from texting William Michael Morgan's team to writing the song, to recording the song, to making the video, all of it was so easy. It was like, it was the easiest project I've ever been a part of. It was easy Country Rebel let us use the ranch. That was easy. We rolled in the morning. We made the video. It was like fog coming up. God was like sprinkling love on it. So it was just easy, easy, easy. Everything about this song and about this video and about this creative musical space was the easiest project that I've ever been a part of. And I believe it was so easy because there was so much emotion. I'd lived it. You know, we were on stage, we were crying, and people were like at shows coming up hugging. I mean, they were like standing ovations for the song, and it was just so obvious that it was meant to be heard. And so we went in and we tracked it, and a couple months later we made this video, and here it is during the middle of the quarantine time, which is really the perfect time for people to hear it.
Awesome. So let me go just right away. I'm going to just go ahead and set it up here and make it solo, and we'll play the video. So here where is it? There it is. Sorry, here we go.
No, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in fairy tales, or that we should grow old all by ourselves. And I don't buy into politics, or everything in black or white. The wrong is always wrong, and right is always right. But you made me believe in me again. So I just had to hear your voice, and I just had to see your face. I had to hold you in my arms. Oh, and by the way, you made me believe in me again. I never bought into Prince Charming. I met a knight on a white horse. I never knew the reason I was breathing for. But you made me believe in me again. So I just had to hear your voice, and I just had to see your face. I had to hold you in my arms. Oh, and by the way, you made me, yeah, you made me believe in me again. No, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in fairy tales. But you made me believe in me again.
My fault. It was my fault.
No big deal.
I muted my mic. Thank God, because I was like sobbing. And it may have been the story that you told. You got me, because I watched it 4 times. That's like the 5th time I've watched it.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. I'm going to ask you about a couple things that are in that video. My favorite part for me is when it's your backlit, and you open your arms like facing the lake, or I think it's a creek or lake. I don't know why I love that part. It's just like you're so happy for a moment there on that particular video, and you're just like, wow. So that's my favorite part.
Thank you. I know.
Was that just Was that just something you did and they thought, hey, that'll fit in there. Let's go ahead and put that in there, or was that purposeful?
You know, what's so funny about that video, again, I keep saying, and I've had some interviews, you know, it was premiered on American Songwriter today, and they interviewed me, and I just said, you know, it's so weird because all the other videos in my catalog, if you go back and look at any of the other ones, they all had this production and there was this plan, and we had kind of scouted what angles we wanted, and we knew kind of what we wanted. Me, again, I'm telling y'all, we woke up in the morning and we were like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's dark. We have no idea what any of our shots are going to be. And we just got to Country Rebel Ranch, and there was the fog. I mean, it was like, sweet. And so we ran out there and we got the morning shots. And then we went over, the shot that you're talking about is actually at the Catfish Pond area. And there's no way we could have known that silhouette would have worked. I mean, there's just no way that you can know. I mean, you would have had to go the morning before at the exact same time to know that lighting was going to happen. And even if you did, there's no guarantee that the lighting would have been the same.
Right.
So it was more of a, I don't know, that song just has its own little life. You know, it has its own little personality, and it's just, it has a lot of power. And I don't know. I just trust that song. I don't really ask questions.
Cindy Lowry says, beautiful song. David Everett, great song.
David.
I got Nobby watching from Australia.
Hey, what's up, Nobby in Australia? Hey, bud.
We are international. London, Australia, across the United States. Awesome. I love all the people that are commenting now. So again, if you haven't had a chance to comment, make sure you just let us know where you're watching from, what platform you're on. I can see because the icon from whatever platform you're mentioning. So I got somebody watching from Twitter, somebody watching from Twitch, many people watching from Facebook. Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff going on. So another question about that video, and you may have already answered this, but is do you have any part in the editing of the video, or is that done just completely by somebody else and they say this is what it looks like and you say, oh, okay, or are you in the mix?
Great question. That video is produced and cinematography by Victoria Metzger, who's a dear friend of mine. And yes, we work very hand in hand. She and I, we jump on video calls. We're editing together. She created the first edit. And then maybe I say, gosh, I really don't like that lighting, or that angle isn't great. You know, what else do you have? Do you have a better shot of William during this moment? Do you have a better shot of this tree? Whatever. And then we were able to go in and kind of substitute the shots for better shots. But I got to tell you, the very first edit she sent me, I cried. I was like, oh my gosh, we're almost there, which is weird because I've had videos where it went through like 10 edits, and sometimes it's grueling. Right. You know, working with these video guys, and Victoria's a girl, so she has more of a vision. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I know you with your lighting and all that kind of stuff, because it took us maybe an hour and a half and 3 lemon drops to find the right place in Long Beach to do our interview.
I'm telling you, y'all, me and lighting. I'm telling you, if you have good lighting, you're good to go.
Hey, you may know this person, Julie Phillips. You know her?
Hey, Julie, good to see you on. She said the most beautiful song in the catalog and meaningful. Thank you, Julie. Great to see you on.
I met Julie when I was in Nashville. When I met Karen, I was watching my second show of Karen. At the time, at a steakhouse where you were up on a riser, and I happened to sit next to Julie, and which is your cousin or friend?
She's my friend, but you could call her my cousin.
Oh, I thought she was a cousin. I don't know, but I ended up spending the rest of my weekend with your friends.
She's great. All my friends are great. Anybody in Waldrup Worldwide is great. They're cool.
So hysterical. All right. One last question about the video. I noticed right away that you had a ring on your on a certain finger. And I go, I don't remember. Yeah. What's up with that? Did you get married? What's going on?
I am. I'm getting married. I know I've never been married before. I've never been engaged before. I'm excited. I'm filled with bliss. Elated to have my man. You know, I lived in Nashville for a long time making music, going on a lot of really bad dates, and I'm just really thankful for Cody. He's such a great guy. He was worth the wait.
Is he a musician?
No, thank God. Because then he doesn't know how bad I am. No, I'm just kidding. He does not know much about music. He knows when music affects him. He knows when music is quality. He knows when music sounds and feels good. But no, he doesn't create music. He has a normal job where people go to work at the same time and come home and have, normal lives. And
Very
I have
good.
to say, I have to say, I really do appreciate that. I think that is a nice blend. For me, it's been a turbulent up and down roller coaster for the last, since I was full-time music. I think that's about like 8 or 9 years. There's months where, you know, there was so much money coming in that I was hiring people and making videos and in the studio and everything was great. And then there's been months where, you know, I had to, hey, you know, like right now, like, hey, we're really just scaling back and we're trying to, you know, get through this time or whatever it was. And, you know, there's been times like that through the down season. You know, there's like December, January where we don't really tour much. So we just kind of have to keep it close and then get through that. And then we start touring again in March, which this year is especially difficult because we were in the off season and then now we're not touring. So, but anyway, to answer your question about Cody, we got engaged on December 27th in San Antonio, Texas at the Tower of the Americas. And it was definitely a night that is just like our relationship, is funny, silly. Definitely. I mean, we're very much in love and there's definitely romance for sure, but we don't really have some sort of heavy burden on either of us. We've lived and gone through enough hard stuff that we know that is not really super important to be so concerned about things that don't necessarily really matter in the big picture. So we have a very stable, real engagement, and we're getting married in Folly Beach, South Carolina in September, but we both agreed that no matter what happens with the coronavirus, that we will get married on September 26th.
Very good. I'm so happy for you.
Even
You're
if it's us with masks on.
Yeah, well, you're such a good person. I just, every time that I've hung out with you for a short period of time, a long period, it's just been fun, and I'm so happy that you have found love. And it's hard. I'm I can tell you, I want you to stay married and I want you to enjoy life. So let's go. I want you to play a song here, if you don't mind me asking you to play a song. But I do have to ask this. I have a daughter who's 25, my oldest daughter, and she has a great voice. She just sent me an audio recording of her singing, and I didn't. It could have. I know the sound. I know I'm her dad. I know, but she sounded like Lady Gaga. She sounded like Karen Waldrup. I mean, she had this voice, and I go, "What's wrong?" And so when I see artists, and I may have asked you this question before, at what point do you know personally that you're good enough to stand up in front of people and actually sing? Like, you know, there's times where I think I sound good. But I would never get up and sing in front of anybody because I know I really don't sound good. Where does that come from? Does somebody have to tell you sound good? How can I support her and say, listen, you sound great. You need to begin to develop this and play with somebody. Where does that come from? Or do you just have the personality that you're not afraid to get up in front of people?
That's all. You have a lot. You're filled with a lot of really great questions. I think my answer to that would be, the one thing I think that my family, and I don't just mean my parents or my siblings, but I'm talking my extended family, my grandparents, my cousins, everybody that's in the greater New Orleans area. Nobody ever told me I couldn't. Nobody ever said to me, oh God, that's such a stupid idea. Or no one ever said, you can't do that. Or no one ever said, that's a silly, thought. Never. And so I think the biggest thing, if you have someone in your life that likes to make music or likes to sing or likes to create art, like, don't remind them how bad it sucks. You know what I mean? Like, it does. It really sucks sometimes. Like, you know, there's times of challenge. Like, don't remind them. Like, just keep it fun for them. Keep it, it's like somebody telling you they got engaged and you going, oh God, marriage sucks, man. It's terrible. It's like, well, that's not really, the person doesn't really want to hear that because they've never been married. And how do you know that their case isn't going to be different? So my advice to people who have people around them, especially during this quarantine and especially during this coronavirus, is, the best thing you can say to them is, wow, that sounds great. Or, man, you really should record that one. Or, maybe you should make a voice memo on your phone. Maybe encourage them to record it in ways that don't cost them a bunch of money. But, like, have you ever thought about recording that in GarageBand? Or just anything that's motivational and inspirational without saying, gosh, we have to go in the studio and spend $5,000, because no one's doing that right now. You can't even get a studio. I tried yesterday. You can't even get a studio in this town. It's crazy. But just to say to that person, like, hey, this is great that you're making art. How special. and just to keep it in that positive place, because you never know how much they'll develop. And
Hmm.
imagine if someone had told me when I was 16 years old that I couldn't do it, like imagine how much that would have affected my life. I still to this day cannot believe that no one ever told me I couldn't do it, ever.
Really?
I just think never.
I don't
There was
know
never
that.
one time.
I
Ever.
come from a different thing. I'm the opposite. I'm the youngest of four. My parents, yeah, we're not. I was a magician. I did magic. I did comedy. I juggled. I did all this stuff. Right, from 9 years old until I was about 25. And so they always told me, "You'll never make any money doing this. You can't do that." And I ended up working for Knott's Berry Farm, which is an amusement park here near Disneyland.
Cool.
Not as big as Disneyland. Not a lot of people know what Knott's Berry Farm is. But anyway, I was a magician, juggler, did that kind of stuff there. Then I worked at a restaurant and did a whole bunch of other stuff. But and then they said, when I wanted to be a cop, oh, you don't want to be a cop. You're going to get killed. And so I had the complete opposite. And the only reason I did magic, the only reason I became a cop is because they told me I couldn't. Right. And so I had that opposite reaction. So wow.
There too, because that put fire under you to do it. So I mean, I don't know. Everyone has their own road, but the answer to your question, which was how can you encourage someone like your daughter who's just getting into this, and what a horrible time to get into this. But I just think just telling her, like, gosh, what a gift that God gave you. This is so cool that you can sing. I'm really proud of you that you have this gift.
Her voice is so beautiful. And I go, you gotta be kidding me. Again, I don't know what's going on with me as I have kids and get a little bit older. I cry, I cry way more often than I used to.
That's all good.
But she made me sob. I mean, about a little bit harder than your video, only because I'm closer to her than I am to you. But Julie Phillips says, raw, real, and always encouraging. Awesome.
Thank you, Shirley. Good to see you on tonight.
All right, let's before we get into the next subject, I have a couple. These questions are just flying into my head, and I just have to ask you more stuff. But I want to give you a chance. I want to hear you sing live. And is there a song that you would like to play? Could I share the conversation? I have a favorite, and then you said, "Well, I don't remember that song," or I don't know that song.
Top Shelf. Oh my gosh.
Top Shelf is my favorite.
Sure,
how could you not be prepared?
I'll figure it out. It's been a while, but I think about it. This one is a song that I wrote whenever I was in Ireland, and it's called Top Shelf. And I wrote the song because after I'd played a show, this guy he comes up after the show and he said, "Oh my gosh, that was really a great show." And I own this bar, and it's a small little bar in Ireland. And I just remember he pulls this ladder out of nowhere. It was like a ladder came out of the side wall. And I'm like, oh. And he gets on this ladder, y'all, and he climbs all the way to the top of it and gets this bottle that's literally 30 years old. And he pulls it down, this bottle of whiskey, because he knew I liked whiskey. I do like whiskey. I'm a Tennessee girl. I'm from Louisiana, but I like whiskey. But anyway, so he pulls it down, and I remember he poured a couple shots of it and shared it. And people who have whiskey that old don't give you very much. It's just a little bit. But he gave, I think there's 5 of us, and we each got to taste it. And that was so cool. And it was really just the ultimate compliment. So I wrote this song. It's called Top Shelf. Darling, you're the Dom Perignon celebration I've been waiting on. Feels this good to be with you. You're the penthouse suite overlooking the beach, just like the 4th of July. On a Saturday night, you're like a special occasion. Every day, and it's like climbing a ladder as high as it goes. To open that bottle, it's 30 years old. When it hits your lips, it's good as it gets. The best of the best, I'll keep you for myself, because baby, you are top shelf. Oh, yeah, baby. You're like a 56 Porsche Classic. They all want to drive, except they can't have it. You're like a New Year's kiss down on Beale Street in Memphis. Like climbing a ladder as high as it goes. To open that bottle, it's 30 years old. When it hits your lips, it's good as Mr. The Best, I'll keep you for myself, because baby, you are top shelf. Oh, oh, yeah, baby. You're everything that I wanted. You're everything that I thought I couldn't have. It's just like climbing a ladder as high as it goes. To open that bottle that's 30 years old. When it hits your lips, it's good as it gets. Mr. The Best, I'll keep you for myself, because baby, you are top shelf. Oh, oh, yeah, baby, you top shelf. Oh, oh, yeah, baby, baby, you are top shelf.
Good. I muted my mic because I was yelling at my kids to get out of the room. But yeah, I think what I was saying is that I think I begin to, whenever I see you, I say top shelf because I want you to play that song.
Just funny, that song. It never made a record.
Oh my gosh. What the heck?
Unreleased music, Andy.
It's like, for me, it's like Drops of Jupiter. Whenever you have that guy playing the piano or playing the guitar, he goes, hey, anybody have any song requests? I go, Drops of Jupiter.
Yeah.
So I guess I shouldn't ask him to play Top Shelf because he, since you don't have it on an album, he probably doesn't know what it is.
He won't know
it. So can I just ask you so I've listened to a few artists talk about their writing styles, that some people just get a melody in their head and they just start, blabbering little things that are like nonsensical words. And then as they go forward with a blah, 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 and then they create words, right? Or with you, is it another way where you have like a couple phrases or a couple things that kind of hit your mind and go, you know what, that would make a good song, these 3 or 4 words that I have in my head, and then you put the music to it then. How does it work for you, or is every song different?
I think, that is like the most common question when it comes to songwriters. And I'm interested to know what other people say, because I don't know. I just know the way that I answer it, but I did enjoy the way Taylor Swift answered it. And so I'll share her response. Not that I want to rip off her thoughts, but I think this is right. Writing a song is like a little cloud that floats right in front of you. This is Taylor Swift's words, not mine, but it's like a little cloud that floats right in front of you. And all you have to do is just grab it. So the hard part is sometimes the little cloud is floating by when it's not very convenient. So maybe it's like 2:00 in the morning, maybe it's 7 a.m. and you have a meeting at 8 and you're like, but when you see that little cloud roll by, you better freaking stop whatever you're doing. You better grab it. And that has happened to me. I mean, I remember one night I was on my way to go have drinks with a friend and I wrote an entire song and I was like an hour late. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I had to write it. I can't remember what song it was, but it's one that's in my catalog. And so anyway, so I think the answer to your question is primarily you have to respect the gift that's been given. It's a gift. It comes like a little cloud and it goes by and you either grab it or you don't. So for me, sometimes that little cloud has lyrics. Sometimes the little cloud has a melody. But most of the time for me, it has a concept. So for example, Top Shelf, it'll be like, it's a song about somebody being genuine. It's a song about somebody being high quality. You don't know what that means, but you're like, gosh, I want to write a song, Top Shelf. The guy got on the ladder. Okay, Top Shelf. He was getting the drink that was Top Shelf. He's Top Shelf. Okay. So a lot of times for me, it's a concept. So if I see this hairspray, I might go, oh my God, we're going to write a song about hairspray. But I don't really know what that sounds like or melody. Or maybe I hear the melody, hairspray, it makes me feel great. Or whatever I hear. So it just depends on the song.
I think there's a play called Hairspray, isn't there?
In fact, I think I need to pitch that for a jingle for what's his company?
You should.
I'll send it to him after this.
Do you ever have any friends or family that call you and say, "Hey, I have this great idea for a song"? Does that ever happen? Does it work? Does it ever
listen? I listen. A lot of times I write it down. A lot of times the idea is, the funny thing about music is that sometimes you can have an idea for a song and it sounds nice in concept, but when you sit down to create it, it doesn't flow and you're just not really sure how to do it. So not every idea is great, but then again, if you had another writer, it might be great. So I don't know. It's just such a variable subject. I mean, there's just really no telling. You just decide in the moment whatever you want to do. I don't know if that's a good answer, but
I'm aware of our time because we have about 15 more minutes that we have here, but I want to get to Goro 187's question. He's on Twitch.
hey,
he's being patient, waiting for me to put this up. But there's a couple here. But I don't know if you know, but 187 in California in our penal code, it means homicide. So that's what's caused me a little bit of hesitation. I'm putting this up, but he asked, or I don't know if it's a he or she, could you please tell her I need her to make a song about my dog dying and my second and third wife meeting in the local Walmart and fighting over toilet paper and Lysol. I bet they mean wipes. Thank you in advance.
Second and third wife
meeting in
her twice?
No, his second wife and his third wife meet in Walmart and they're fighting over toilet paper and Lysol wipes.
Guru 187, you got some problems. I don't know what to tell you, man. I would say go with whichever girl got the more toilet paper. I mean, in this situation.
All right. Here's another one. I just got to give him one more because he has a lot of comments. These are just two of. So a question for her: would she ever make a song about the epic battle to become our country's bird? In the video, you would have a epic battle between a turkey and a bald eagle, with Abe Lincoln acting as an impromptu ref. It could unite all Americans in this current craziness.
I have no idea where to find a bald eagle. In fact, I've never seen one, Guru. I've been looking in the sky a long time to try to see a bald eagle, and I just still haven't. So I don't know how I'm going to find a bald eagle and then find a turkey. I don't know how this is going to work.
Well, I was just
keep it in mind as a concept for a Waldrup Wednesday.
Yeah. So you'll be more than welcome to watch the replay. Write down the notes from Guru 187. In Victoria, British Columbia, I was there. We had a mastermind group event there. Anyway, that's not important. But there were a ton of bald eagles there. So go to Victoria, British Columbia. They're all over the place. Yeah, they're eating and yeah, they're like everywhere, like sparrows.
Sounds like my kind of day.
And he says he has again, I don't know if it's a he or her. We have eagles in Missouri.
All right, Goro. I might have to go to Missouri after the quarantine's over.
All right, that's enough of Girl 187. All right, what's one of the songs that you planned on playing and I didn't bogart or do something to derail you? What song what's one of your favorites?
Well,
I'm imagining the video is one of your favorites, but after that
one of my favorite. But I really want to show you guys this Bible. So I went to.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So I went to grab the Bible. Yeah, no worries. And this is my Bible. I have not named it yet, but this was given to me by someone who loves my music very much. And I'm very thankful for him. And if you open the Bible up and you have the time to look through it, I have a protective case for it. So I've made the exception to take it out of the case. This Bible was printed in 1589.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. I know. Every time I walk by it, I'm just, if there's a tornado, I'll be grabbing the Bible and getting in the bathtub. It's such a special Bible. And I even had to order this $20 magnifying glass because it's super hard to read because a lot of the text, it's real old English, obviously, 1589. But if you can see in the side, you can see some of the writing.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. You know, there's all these different Christians throughout history who've owned it. And I just love it. And then there's people who've written their baptism, like 1650 and all these different years and all this handwriting in it from different people. So I think I've really enjoyed mostly, I mean, not only just having a Bible from the 1500s. I don't know anybody else who has one from the 1500s. But I think my favorite part of owning a Bible from the 1500s is the handwriting, is all the writing inside and looking at it with a magnifying glass and trying to understand what they felt from that verse. It's just a really cool, cool thing. I don't know. I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, you wonder where they were when they were writing in there. Were they at a park? Were they in the kitchen? And, what was going on in their life? There's so much, that you could, just have an imagination for.
That this Bible was brought to America somewhere along the way on a boat.
Yeah.
So 1589, that was before the Mayflower. So the Bible came over on a boat somewhere. And the fact that it's this intact, anyway, I'm just really obsessed with it.
Yeah, I love it.
I love
amazing.
it. I'm so obsessed with it. I don't have a name for it yet. I don't know. Maybe I'll call her 89.
So my real first name is Andre. Does that work? No.
Andre.
Andre is my real name.
Andre, the 1589 Bible. We're looking for help naming the Bible. If anyone has any
Come on. Girl 187 probably has an idea.
Yeah, Guru 187. Let us know what the Bible name.
Yeah, he said. Well, they said thank you. I'm sure at the least these kind of stupid questions make it more spontaneous being interviewed.
You got it right, Guru. You got it.
We'll give him that. I'm assuming it's a him. I don't know why I think it's a him, but it just sounds like a him for whatever reason.
I don't really know yes or no, but one or the other.
All right, let's get one more song before I have to kick you out of here.
Yeah, so I have been trying right now to play positive music, and you guys already heard Me Again. So this one I'm really into. Speaking of the Bible, I'm really into this one. I think this is like the most powerful song right now for people. And I heard this song the other day when I was on Facebook, and I saw this beautiful video from a hospital in Jackson, Tennessee. And everyone had gone to the hospital and parked and flashed their brights at the hospital. Well, then the hospital starts flashing their brights back. And it was just this beautiful video of prayer and understanding during such a hard time. So I was like, okay, well, that song's amazing. So I'd never heard it before. So I looked it up, and turns out it was written by a girl named Sinach in Nigeria. And so I said, oh man, I just got to learn how to play this. So I learned how to play it. I'm gonna play it for you guys tonight, and I'm also gonna play it for Country Rebels live stream tonight. If anybody wants to stick around, we're gonna go over to Country Rebel and play some more music. But I just feel like this song kind of brings it all together. The Bible coming from 1589, losing the shows, trusting the Lord. And this one's called Waymaker. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. That is who you are. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you. I worship you. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. 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 That is who you song.
Wow. That is one of my favorites too.
It's
You know,
such a good song.
if I was your fiance, I'd say, hey, could you sing a song for dinner? You know, before we before we have dinner, I just need you to sing a couple songs for me.
That's it. Yeah, he loves
Now,
the free live music, especially during the quarantine time.
I love that. Is that I mean, it sounded obviously very similar to the song. Do you add something, change something? Do you create your own version of that song? Or is that pretty much how it was written?
Well, first of all, when I discovered that song, I was driving around listening to the Christian station here in Nashville, and I just heard it and thought it was really great. But then whenever I decided I wanted to sing it, I looked up Sinatra's version and listened to her gospel version out of Africa. And I tried her version. I thought it was really great. Unfortunately, the key was a little weird for me. And so I tried all the different keys. I tried I tried Leland's key. I tried her key. I tried all the keys in between. And I just felt like by sticking with the original key, which is, it's not the original key, it's her key is different, but by sticking with the original like church Americanized key, that I felt like people would be able to sing along. And if people were watching on the internet and they were able to sing along, then that would be more powerful than just me singing it. So that's why I chose to play in the key of E.
Wow, that was awesome. And I'm
Thanks.
so thankful that you did that. I'm going to make sure and
song.
I'm going to share this out and do some watch parties over the next couple of days because people need to see this video. You are fantastic for coming on. We need people like you during this time to bring some fun and enjoyment. And, you know, I hope we can do this again because I love talking to you. I have so many more questions that I can't get to, but we have a hard time that we have to get off because you have to be on something else. But I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you and your music so much.
All right, next time the lemon drop's on you.
All right. Oh, that's right. You did pay for my lemon drop.
That's right.
Well, you got 15,000 views. I don't know. All right.
That was a fun day.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna close out with your videos for those people that I know people are kind of coming in late and probably didn't get to see your video. So I'm gonna close out with your video. And while that video is playing, you're gonna be leaving. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it very much.
Thank you guys so much. Everybody have a great night and just stay home.
All right. Take care.
No, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in fairy tales, or that we should grow hold on by ourselves. And I don't buy into politics, or everything in black or white. The wrong is always wrong, and right is always right. But you made me believe in me again. So I just had to hear your voice, and I just had to see your face. I had to hold you in my arms. Oh, and by the way, you made me believe in me again. I never bought into Prince Charming. I met a knight on a white horse. I never knew the reason I was breathing for. But you made me believe in me again. So I just had to hear your voice, and I just had to see your face. I had to hold you in my arms. Oh, and by the way, you made me believe in me again. No, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in fairy tales. But you